Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Homage to the Blessed One, the Worthy One, the Supremely Enlightened One. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Dear Dharma friends, we are learning Majjhima Nikaya. We are, as a monks, we are can be motivative, can be beautiful to listen, easy to understand, but we still have some drawbacks in us. But the Buddha is a perfectly enlightened one. So what comes from him, that is for the enlightenment. And that's why majority of our monks or our nuns, they do this teaching from the suttas. It's beautiful what you see from the suttas. We are going to learn the Mahāsīhanādasutta, and this sutta is very large. We will need to have do in the 2 weeks. I can summarize it in very short, but it won't be the justice to the sutta. So we will do in two separate parts. Okay. So the first part we will learn, and then second part we will be learning next week. Okay. Is that okay? Yeah. So let's begin our sutta. Sutta is Mahāsīhanādasutta. We are discussing in Majjhima Nikaya, Sīhanādavagga Sutta number 2. Evam me suttam ekam samayam bhagava Vesaliyam viharati bahinagare aparapure vanasandi. On one occasion, the Blessed One was dwelling at Vesali, outside of the city, and there was one forest or woodland grove. In that time, where there the Buddha was dwelling. Ten konpana samayena sunakkato liccha viputto achira pakkanto hoti imasma dhamma vinaya. That time, the Sunakkata, the Lichavi, he has disrobed recently from this Supreme Buddha's teaching. Okay, so in Buddhism, it is not something like that. Once you take the robe, once you become a monk, you are bound to stay there for whole life. Some of them can disrobe also because of not understanding Dhamma or difficulties of practicing. There are several things. So he may be in some of the words he has asked. He was asking from some Supreme Buddha something else, and then he was not receiving it. So that time, this Sunakkata, he answered. After he disrobed, what he did. So Vesaliyam parisati evam vacham bhasati. So in the city of the Vesali, he went there and he was telling people, telling crowds about this. What he said? Natti samanassa gotamassa uttari manusa dhamma alamariya jnana darsana viseso. He said that the ascetic Gautama has no supreme or what it called is a divine something, you can say. There is no divinity in the Supreme Buddha, and because of that, or distinction in knowledge and virtue are worthy of noble ones. So In a way, you can say simply that if all the religions or all the major one, they whenever they proclaim about their religion, they say that I am a divine, and he said that Buddha did not have anything divine, in divine divinity. At the same time, this Sunakkata he said what? Takkapariyahatang samano gotamo dhammang deseti vimansanu charitang sayang patibhanam. The Supreme Buddha teaches the Dhamma, what he worked out of logic. Means takka parihayatang. Takka means tarka. So because of the logic, what he see the good, what it suits for the person to person, he utilized this logic. And Vimansanu Charitang, what he has thought about, what he has inquired about. So those things. And Sayan Patibhanam. So his own perspective. With the help of that, he teaches to the others. That is the way he preached to the others. And the result of that, he was saying, what he said, Yasacha kwasa thaya dhammo desito, so niyati takkarasa samma dukkha what he said. And his teaching leads to those who practice it to the complete end of suffering, the goal for which it's taught. It means Buddha, his words were that the Buddha does not have any divinity in him. There is no God prospect or that, or there is not something like that, beyond the words. So the others may go and worship him like, oh, without him, without them, something like that. Nothing like this. And in the same time, he was saying he has the skillful logic and his understanding, the inquiry, what he thinks of, and that he teaches. Because of it, if someone follows his path, someone follows his teaching, what happened? They are able to end their suffering. So he was telling others because maybe means the reason was that Sunakkata is the one, I think, that who went to the Buddha and he said, Bhante, I want to do meditation. Okay. And I want to see the gods. I want to see the heavenly beings. And Buddha tell, okay, do this meditation of kind of way. Okay. And then he said that, yes, Bhante, I can see the gods, but I cannot hear them. What to do? The Buddha says, okay, you asked me to see them. And I told you, okay, do this meditation and you will see them. And now you are saying that, oh, I'm able to see, but I cannot hear. You did not ask me to hear. And some of the reason was that, and then that's why he disrobed. Okay, he become later the wanderer also in a way. So that thing was there. This this words means when the Sariputta Bhante Atako ayasma Sariputto Pubbanna Samayang Nivasetva Pattashivara Madaya Vesalyam Pindaya Pavisi. At the time, Sariputta Bhante, he early in the morning, he took his robe and bow, and he went in the Savatthi for alms round to beg the food. Assosiko ayasma Sariputto Sunakkatas Lichaviputtas Vesalyam Parisati Eva Vachang Bhasamanam. And that time, then Sariputta Bhante himself, heard this thing. He listened that this Sunakkata, Lichaviputta, he was telling to the people there that the Supreme Buddha does not have Uttari Manusadhamma, the distinction or true knowledge, and which doesn't have that. He does not have the enlightenment, but only with the logic, his understanding, and on the being in and explaining in the proper by his knowledge what he thinks good. So he teaches through that, and if someone follows, they become uh, free from the suffering. He was telling. So So Sariputta Bhante, who was the foremost, that monk after food, and then after finishing the food, he came to the Supreme Buddha, came to Supreme Buddha where he was, and then he worshipped Supreme Buddha and sat down at one side. Ekamanta nisinoko ayasma sariputta bhagavantam etadu. As sitting in the one side, he asked from the Supreme Buddha, or he said to the Supreme Buddha, what he said? Sunakkato bhante lichchavi putto achira pakkanto imasma dhammamina. Bhante, the name Sunakkata, who left the Lichavi's son, who left this Dhamma and Vinaya, he disrobed. He is saying in this world like this, all he is telling to the people in Savati, or to telling to the people in Lichavi, that Buddha does not have this divinity, that Buddha does not have this knowledge and enlightenment, but just because of his logic, just because of his understanding or uh, of his thinking, the patibhana, what he do? He teaches to the other Dhamma, and whoever listens and follows, they become enlightened. So Buddha says simply to him, what the Buddha says, Kodhena heso sariputto sunakhato mogapuriso. This foolish person is telling this all the words out of anger. He came to this Buddha Sasana for what he wanted to ask, but he did not receive it in that manner. Buddha was not teaching the Dhamma for to get something else. He was teaching Dhamma for the enlightenment, to end off suffering. And his wish for in the Buddhism was something else. And Buddha did not provide. And that's why he was angry a little bit. And the Buddha says, this foolish person, he doesn't know. He's speaking those words out of anger. Kodhacha panassa esa vacha bhasati. Due to hatred, this words he's telling to others. Avannang bhasisamiti so kosariputta sunakhato mogapuriso vannang eva tathagatam bhasati. What he's doing, thinking he's criticizing the realized one, criticizing, he's telling the other things, spreading the rumors regarding about Buddha, but in a way he's praising to the Buddha. It's beautifully understood. The Buddha explained. So it's very nice. What they said, he wanted to blame, or he wanted to put the mud on this Buddha's name, or he wanted to do the criticize or tell about all the wrong ways about Buddha, but in a different way, he's praising him. He's saying good about Buddha. What is saying? What the Buddha explained? He may be saying that, okay, Buddha is not the have the divinity or all, but he's telling that Buddha, what he teaches the Dhamma, if someone follows, they finish, they complete, they reach to the complete end of suffering, the goal which that it's thought for. That thing the Buddha is doing. Means if someone doesn't believe on the divinity of Buddha, but only they believe, okay, I can follow the path of Buddha and I will be enlightened, or I will be free from suffering, in that sentence also it is good to follow the Buddha. Later on, the Buddha explained the entire Dhamma talk regarding this, that why the Buddha is not the divine one, the heavenly one, but the self-realized, fully awakened, why the Buddha is, it is mentioned in this sutta. And if someone understands that, so you can identify, you can distinguish the other religious figures and the Buddha. You can separate them in certain level. Buddha has realized this. He never claimed that I am the reincarnation of someone, or I am a messenger, or there is a superpower that which flows through me. Never mention like that. Buddha said, I am fully awakened, and these are the reasons that I am teaching the Dhamma. And if someone follows, they are going to finish their act of suffering. So Supreme Buddha explained this beautiful thing that when he was saying that the Buddha's path, if someone follows, then they finish the suffering. In that time, Ayampihi Nam Sariputta Sunakata Samoga Purisasa Mai Dhamma Vinaya Bhavisati. Then this is what it called. Uh, what he understands about Dhamma, the inferior about what is his acknowledgement regarding that he's telling, but he does not understand completely what the Buddha is in that moment. Okay, the Buddha explained he may be opposed of it, but he did not deny that itipiso bhagava arahang samma sambuddho vijjacharana sampanno sugato lokavidu anuttaro purusha dhamma sarati sattha deva manasana buddho bhagavati. He may be saying the other things, but he's not denying that Buddha is with these 9 great qualities, fully enlightened, awakened, uh, holy, and the teachers of gods and human, who can train the knower of world, and he's a Bhagavad, the blessed one. In that way, he's not saying. Then he's saying in this one, Ayampi nama sariputta sunakatasa mogapurisasa mai dhamma vinavana bhavisati. And there is no way Sunakata will infer about me from the teaching. What? That Buddha's teaching is about this. Itipiso Bhagava aneka vihitang iddividang pachanubhuti. That Supreme Buddha has this psychic power that he can show the various ways of psychic powers in this world. Ekopi hutva bahuda hoti. From one, he can become many, from the many, he can become a one, appearing, disappearing, avibhava, tirobhava, tirokutta, tiropakara, tiropabbatang, asajjamano gacchati. So he's saying he can walk through the, wall, he can walk through the, pabbata, the mountains, and he can go into the sky. It means he can walk to the mountain and wall and stones as someone is walking, like just in the air. Seyatapi akase, someone can walk on the air. Such a way he's walking through the these mountains. Patvi api umajju ummaju nimajjum karoti. And in this land, he can dive as someone do in the water. In the water, he can just walk as someone is walking on the earth. And in the sky, he can cross his leg and he sit down there as the birds stays in there. So in a various way, as the sun and moon has this huge aura, in the same way that the Buddha is also having that, it means he's that much powerful in the psychic power. Means he can control the body as far as realm of divinity, means his body. Buddha can go to the heavenly realm and all these things he can do. For that, he's not denying in that thing. He doesn't understand it. So as he understands, that much is okay. Because when the Sunakata was there, he asked from Buddha, I want to see these things. So, and some of the reasons he may be angry, and then he started to scold. That thing was there. But he did not deny that Buddha is not something. He was saying. Then Buddha explained, there is a itipiso bhagava dibbaya sotadhatya visuddhaya atikkanta manasakesu ubho sadde sunati. Buddha can hear all the divine words, or all the communication or words from the sounds of all the beings, for the heavenly, or even the humanly world, or which is near and far from him. That is also the Buddha can listen. Then Ayampihi Nam Sariputta Sunakatasa Mogapurisasa Mai Dhamma Vinena Bhavisati. Um, about Supreme Buddha, he is explaining in this way, or not explaining in this way of that. Itipiso Bhagava Parasattanam Parapuggalanam. So the Buddha can hear, or Buddha can understand others' mind through his, that the another person, the next person, has Saragang Chittanti Pajanati, that the person has the mind with greed. Vitaragang is free from greed. Sadosang Chittang va Sadosang Chittang Tipajanati. This person has a mind with hatred, and then mind is without hatred. Samohang, with the mind with the delusion, without delusion. Then Sankirtang, that the mind is constructed, come together, or Vikirtang, it is shattered or everywhere. And then Mahagatam, that he has what it called expand his mind, or Amahagatam, that he has his mind has come together, something like this, not in the concentrated way, but in a different. Sautarang Chittan, that his mind has went to the supreme, or goes little bit beyond the just normally thinking of that. Sauttarang or Anuttarang. So it's not supreme, or Sauttarang, it means only in this worldly things as we think. Anuttarang, it means gone beyond the words. Then Samahitang, the concentrated, and Asamahitang, which is not concentrated. In this way that he has some. Vimuttang Chittang, his mind is free mind, means liberated, or Avimuttang Chittang, which is not the liberated. So Buddha can see, or can see from his own mind to the another's, and that this kind of someone's mind is there. And then Buddha explained, Dasakho Panimani Sariputta Tathagatasya Dasapa Tathagata Balani Yehi Balehi Samannagato Tathagato Asabang Thanam Patijanati Parisasu Siyanadang Nadati Brahmachakram Pavati. What the Buddha says, Sariputta, these are the 10 powers. 10 powers this realized one has. Because of this power the Buddha possesses, with this he claims the place of bull, means it's a way of the expression, and goes to the assemblies and do the roar of his lion's roar, and will turn the will of Dhamma. And what these 10 things are. So here that first when the person said about Buddha, the Buddha does not have the divinity. At that time, Buddha says, these are the quality the Buddha possesses. And because of this, the qualities the Buddha possesses, no one can deny that. But Sunakata did, and he is doing something wrong. So he's explaining Buddha explaining to the Sariputta, okay, these are the great things that Buddha possesses. And so his words, Sunakata's words, are totally wrong regarding the Buddha. What the Buddha explained, there are 10 powers. So what are the 10 powers? The first one is Sariputta Tathagato Thanang cha Thanato Attanang cha Attanato Yatabhutam Pajanati. That the Blessed Ones have the power that what is possible and what is impossible, that thing Supreme Buddha understand properly. What the Buddha says, it is possible, no? And impossible as impossible. What can be happen or cannot happen, that Buddha realized very well. And he is teaching. Buddha teaches that. There is nothing Buddha has taught which is impossible. And he said, yeah, it is impossible. And even today, like 2000 years has already passed, 2600 years passed. Even today, no one can find something like this. Oh, the Buddha says this is possible or this is impossible, and then this is happening now. This is possible today. No, even not today, anyone can deny these things from the Buddha. So, because of that knowledge, because of that that this power, the Blessed One was going to the assemblies and teaching the Dhamma, turning the wheel of Dhamma. Second power, the Buddha says, Tathagato Atitanagata Pachupannanam Kamma Samadhananam Thanaso Hetuso Vipakam Yathabhutam Pajanati. What the Buddha says, in the past, present, and future, whatever that person has done, whatever the karma has done, whatever the deeds undertaken in this all three things, the you can say the for those karma means if someone is doing the karma, what is the reason behind this? What is the result of this? What it causes? Such a thing, Buddha understand completely. You know, I mean, someone do the karma, and like if today we ask, means simply think, today we do something and we give the explanation of it, but the truth only we know. Someone lies about that, okay, I did this something, so they lie about what they have done. For the others it looks okay, reasonable, but inside us, if they have done something because of greed, hatred, those are all things, and what causes it, so the karma, what which is created, so that base of this creation of karma, Buddha know very well. And that's why Buddha can teach, okay, this person is suffering, this person is having result of this karma particularly, the Buddha can explain. So knowing this karma properly, the Buddha is teaching his Dhamma, he is doing his alliance roar in the assemblies and turning the wheel of Dhamma. Third one, Tathagato Sabbattagamini Patipadam Yathabhutam Pajanati. The Blessed One knows all the path to leads wherever person wants to go. Sabbatthagamini. If someone wants to go to the heavenly world, that person will come and he will ask, Bhante, I want to go to the heavenly world. And Buddha will teach him. Someone says how the person goes to the hell. Buddha know the path of how person can go to the hell. Someone goes and asks, Bhante, I want to be born in the Brahma world. And the Buddha will say, this is the path leads to the Brahma world. Someone say that I want to come back to the human world. And Buddha will explain, okay, this is the thing. Follow this and you will. There is a beautiful story about this. There were the Nakula Mata and Nakula Pita. They are the great disciples, one of the great disciples in the Upasaka and Upasika. They came to the one day to Supreme Buddha and they said, Bhante, since we get married from the betrothal, we love each other a lot. We spend our whole life, and we wish that in the future life also, when we go to the heavenly world, we want to be together there also. And the Buddha says, okay. He asked how I want to go there, and Buddha explained to him. Buddha said, you must have the same amount of faith together, the same amount of virtue, and whatever the meritorious action you do, it should be equal. As it is there, Samasaddha, Samasila, and Samadana or something, it is mentioned. So if those good actions are there equally, then you are both going to the heavenly world and going to be born into the same place. That happened later, but someone asked him where to go, and Buddha knows the path. So It is Sabbattha Gamini Patipada, the road which leads to the everywhere. Those are all realized by Blessed One. Tathagata knows all of it, and that's why this the Supreme Buddha goes to the assemblies and do these lines around and turns the wheel of Dhamma. Fourth one is Tathagato Aneka Dhatum Nana Dhatu Lokang Yatha Bhutang Pajanati. In this world, there are different elements and all element of like Dhatu Sutta. In the Dhatu Sutta, the Buddha explained that person to person it is changed, and these are all things that different the people gathers together. Like you can say, one day the Sariputta Bhante was walking, doing the walking meditation, and his disciples were walking with him. Ananda Bhante was doing the walking meditation, and his disciples were walking with him. And uh, Anuruddha Bhante was doing, and his disciples were walking with him. So the Buddha saw it, and he's mentioned. Buddha says, because do you see that this monk is they are walking who is walking with the Sariputta? They are all the wise monks. They have the wisdom as a Sariputta do, not equally, but they are prone to that. So their dhatu, their elements comes together and they are associating with together. Then Ananda Bhantes, all of them, they are having the vast memory. They're doing. Anuruddha Bhante, they all has divine eyes. So in such a way, these dhatus comes together. And all of the heavenly worlds, different animal worlds or hell, these are all the diverse elements Tathagata understands properly. Because of knowing all of this, the Supreme Buddha teaches this Dhamma. Further, Supreme Buddha's another power is Tathagato Sattanang Nanadi Muttikatang Yathabhutang Pajanati. That the Blessed One understands, that the persons, the all of other beings have this different power, and their strength is different in different world. So Tathagata understands that also properly. So because of that, if he understands, that's why one day Supreme Buddha went to the Brahma Lok, and because that Brahma has this uh, misguided or mithya ditti, wrong view that I am the creator, nothing can go beyond my control. I am the one who is holding this world together, something like this. So Supreme Buddha went there and he said, okay, uh, do your thing. Can you disappear me? Can you make me disappear? And then he were unable to. Buddha disappeared himself and he said, can you make me visible? And you are unable to do. Then Buddha says, okay, you disappear now in front of Buddha, his one also. So what the idea he had that I am the one who is controlling, you know, such a thing he forget, means that he come to understanding that no, I am not the controlling one. I am just the part of this entire universe. Because of cause and effect I'm happening in this at this moment. So the misunderstanding what he had, Buddha cleared it at that time. So the different beings has a different strength, and there are drawbacks. Those are all things Tathagata understands properly. Because of that, he can go to the any assemblies and speak the Dhamma. Then Supreme Buddha says, Tathagato parasattanam parapoggalanam indriya paropariyattang yathabhutam pajanati. Supreme Buddha has truly understand the faculties of other sentient beings and other individuals. Indriya Dhamma, it means the what we can say. If someone want to escape from the suffering or understand the realization or want to be enlightened, that person needed certain skills. So if someone have those skills or not, Tathagata knows very well. It is a similarly like think about this. If there is any official job and you go for interview, these people will gather, sit there, and they will ask, "Do you have these things?" And they will judge you based on that. But how you express, what is your only based on that. Tathagata knows from inside that this person is able to understand the Dhamma or not. This person, what to teach him so he can understand this, that thing entirely understand. So, like we know very well about our eyes, ear, nose, tongue, because those are part of us. If someone sees, they see that I'm wearing the spectacles, then say, okay, Bhante is unable to see properly. But they don't know how much I am unable to see. Something like this. Buddha know that also. I'm just giving this example. It is not a literal meaning. The meaning is that the person's how much virtue this person has to complete, how much faith that there is there, how much energy this person has, and what kind of wisdom this person has. Such a thing, these indriyas, the Buddha understands that, and according to this indriya, Buddha teach the Dhamma. So, which is incomplete, throughout his teaching that becomes complete, and they realize the Dhamma. So that's why. So the individual beings or different beings has a different their strength, or their different indriyas, the faculties that Buddha has truly understand. He has realized everything. Because of that strength, Buddha can go anywhere and teach the Dhamma. And when the Buddha teaches this way, everyone feels that Buddha is teaching to me. And if some Buddhas sometimes just only focus on one person, and that person never, it never happened that that person didn't realize Dhamma. Always, if the Buddha focus, Buddha makes certain way teaching to make that person understand, and he becomes enlightened, or the stream enter, minimum stream enter. So that is the beauty. Furthermore, Buddha says, Tathagato jhana vimukha samadhi samabhattinam sankilesam vodanam vutthanam yathabhutam pajanati. The Buddha realized one, the Buddha, he understands. What he understands? Regarding jhanas, jhana, it means concentrated mind, vimukha or liberation, samadhi, immersion, samapatti, being on the stages, understanding or attainment or reaching to the stages, that thing Buddha understands. And what is sankilesa? These all things have a corruption also. Vodana, the cleansing. Vuttana, if the person has fall, he can rise up from there. That Buddha understand properly. Many time, then in Buddha's time, like today also, you will see there are different techniques of meditation, different techniques of practices. We find it, and all of them help in a certain level. But what after that doesn't know. So because of that, what is obstacles for this meditation, liberation, immersion? What are the obstacles? What are the drawbacks of certain meditations? How to get rid of them? How to develop the proper way of meditation? Such a thing Buddha understands very well. No one can compare, no one can say, oh, Tathagata doesn't know about this. He knows very well about this all. And that's why anyone comes, Buddha teaches him in according to that. Furthermore, Buddha says, Tathagato aneka vihitam pubbhe nivasam anusarati. The Blessed One recalls the many kinds of past lives. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 20, 50, 40, 50, and then 100 and 100,000s, then all the eons, the creational eon, the creational or destructional eon, everything in a different lifespan what the Buddha born. And what he sees there, that in that life, I was with this name, I had this kind of body, I have enjoyed this food in this way, and this is the my happiness, suffering, I enjoy this. And after doing this karma, I passed out from there and I appear in this life. In this way, the Buddha explained everyone this life, then another. So, Buddha says, because of knowing all the past lives, the Tathagata can go to the assemblies and teach the Dhamma. He do his lion's roar and turn the wheel of Dhamma. Furthermore, Supreme Buddha says, Tathagato dibbena chakkhuna visuddhena अतिक्रांत मानसकेन सत्ते पसवति चवमाने उपजमाने हीने पनीते सुवन्ने दुःपन्ने sugate dugate yatha kamupagate satte pajanati. Buddha says furthermore that in his divine eye, Supreme Buddha's divine eye, he can see the beings are passing away, getting born again, appearing again in a various forms, in various worlds, being born as a reborn as an inferior, superior, going to the heavenly world or the bad destinations. As they have done their karma, according to the karma, they are getting birth in different things. And it is mentioned here, if someone do the bodily misconduct, someone do the verbal misconduct or the mental misconduct, because of that, because of their michhaditti, the wrong view, and doing the karma through the wrong view, reason of that, they goes to the bad destination and suffer there. If someone do the good karma, good actions, and they have the right view, because of right view, they do the good actions, good karma, and because of that karma, they born in the heavenly world. In this way, the Buddha can see the every beings disappearing and appearing, passing away and coming. So that divine eye, the Supreme Buddha possesses. That is the strength of Tathagata. With this strength, Tathagata goes to the assemblies and he do the lion's roar and turns the wheel of Dhamma. One more, the last one. Tathagato asavanam kaya anasava cheto vimukti panya vimuktin ditteva dhamme sayan abhinya sachikatva upasampaja viharati. Sorry, the last one is the blessed one is completely freed from all the hatred, delusion, all of this which is dragging him. He's free from that, and his mind is liberated. His wisdomly is liberated. In this very life, he has realized, and he lives in this world with ending of finishing all the defilements, completely vanishing the defilements. Okay, so Tathagata realized that. So what he teaches, he has self-realized also. Means Buddha is not something, okay, the person is showing the path but not reach that destination. Buddha has reached destination. He has get rid of all the defilements. He is free from that. And being free from that, he liberated of mind, liberated of wisdom. In this very life, he is enjoying that liberation, enlightenment here. That is his strength. So no one can go and say, okay, the Buddha is not liberated. Such a things no one can say. So that is the strength, a 10th strength of Supreme Buddha, 10th power of Supreme Buddha. With this power, Supreme Buddha teaches this Dhamma. Furthermore, the Buddha says, Yoko mang sariputta evang janatang evang pasatang evang vadena. If someone knows me very well or someone understands they will say to these things, or when I know and see in this way, suppose someone were to say this, when they people see what the Natti Samanasa Gautamasa Uttari Manusudhamma Alamariya Jnanadassana Viseso Takka Parihaya. If someone say these things, that the Buddha has not have that this divinity or distinction in knowledge and virtue or wisdom, or vision worthy of the noble ones, and so if they do not get rid of that view, they will be born into the hell. They will go to the hell. So after knowing these 10 powers, or knowing this Tathagata, as Tathagata no understands himself, or Tathagata explains, knowing that if someone say that Tathagata doesn't have this superiority in here, then they are not, if they don't leave this view of them, they will be go to the Niraya. And why is Sayatapi Sariputta Bhikkhu? As Sariputta give the another that because Sila Sampanno, Samadhi Sampanno, Panya Sampanno, Ditteva Dhamme, Anyam, Aradheyan, Evam Sampadamidam Sariputta Vadami. If someone is with a good virtue, if someone is with a good emotion, someone is with a wisdom, such a person by practicing Dhamma, he attains the enlightenment. In the same way that I say, if someone does not leave that these words, his mind, he does not change regarding Buddha, then he goes to the bad destination in a hell. Buddha furthermore explains, Chattarimani Sariputta Thagatasya Vesarajjani. The four Visharada Jnana. Four Visharada, it means self assurance, that all knower, that called the Visharada. He's a clever, he's a master in that way. The four knowledges are there. Due to that, because with this knowledge, Tathagata do this lion's roar in the Parisada also. What are those? Samma Sambuddhasate Patijanato Ime Dhamma Anabhisambuddha. In this world, Tatra Vatamang Samanova, Brahmanova, Devova, Marova, Brahmava, Kochiva, Lokasming, Sadhamena, Patichodesati, Nimitta Metang Sariputana Samanupassami. In this world, there are no Samana Brahman, no ascetics, no Brahmins, no heavenly beings, no Maras, no Brahma, or not a single being can accuse the Buddha with this particular reason or particular words or particular reason that Supreme Buddha is claiming that he is a fully enlightened, but these things he has not attended yet. He has not awakened yet. Such a thing is no one can show no one can accuse him. No one can say this thing to the Buddha. There is no reason behind that. They cannot give the, okay, because of this, the Buddha is not enlightened. No one can say. And that is his Visharada Jnana. What the Buddha has explained, no one has denied in this world. No one. People who doesn't understand, they will always say, okay, the Buddha is not that enlightened. Because they don't know him. Without knowing him, person can say, but who knows him very well, who understands, who knows his teaching, they will never say something like that Buddha is not enlightened, not free from suffering. No one can say. So that is the first one. Second one is Khinasavasa te patijananto ime asava aparikhana. The Buddha explained that these defilements, it is all the defilements of Buddha has been ended. The Buddha says something, but this defilement is still exist in him. Such a word, such a saying, no one can say to the Buddha. No one can call him with that words. No one can give the reason for that. No one in this world. Oh, Buddha, you are saying that your lust has been finished. There is a, I shouldn't mention this, but what I'm explaining, just what I was heard listening last. I do listen sometime podcast. Should not be in the recording, but just to you. And very interrupted thought I heard. Okay, someone asked, you know the word, the person called Osho. So one was his disciple, and he was saying Osho was an enlightened one, and he still has a girlfriend. Okay, it is mentioned in his ashramas and on that time. And I thought, and he was explaining that yeah, it is okay to have that, you know. And in the same time, he's saying he's liberated, he's enlightened, he's free from all this lust, hatred, and delusion. He's free from that. And even though he has these things, how can they be possible? It means that the person is only living in illusion. No one can say in the Buddha's words, Buddha's life, such a thing. No one can. And that's the beauty of Buddha. No one can. So, several rubbishes in this world you will listen. And what the people are saying, they don't have the meaning of that. They don't understand it. It is there, truly. They don't understand. They're saying that this is liberated one, but he's okay to get married. How can be? Doesn't have these things, you know? So, such a thing. Uh, in this sutta, the Buddha explained this Visharada Jnana. The Buddha explained that he's free from all the defilements, and this defilement is not finished yet. No one legitimately is called or say these things with this reason. No one can show the reasons, and this is the defilement is exist in you. You say that you are free from that. No one can accuse the Buddha. That is the second. Third one, येकोपनते अंतरायिका धम्मा उत्ता te patisevato nalang antarayayati. This is a beautiful thing. In Buddha has mentioned regarding Dhamma that this is the obstacle or obstructions for the realization. If you do these things, it will be obstacles for your realization. Okay. No one can say that Bante, if I follow this, there is no obstacles. I can fulfill the path. I can complete the path. It can never happen. What the Buddha explained, this is the obstacles, then definitely that is obstacle. That thing, no one can show the reason. No one can. People tried a lot. People tried a lot in Buddha's time. Buddha make different way, and monks break a little bit of precepts. Nuns did, others householders did, and they said about these things. Some of the monks said this thing also. Uh, that no, this is not obstacle for the Dhamma practice. I can complete it without means that cannot be obstacle, and they never complete their path. They never complete their path. So if someone is wise enough to understand, so in this world, whoever wise the names, that this ascetics, Brahmins, God, Mara, and all the Brahmas, no one can accuse the Buddha that Buddha is saying that this is the Antarayika Dhamma, this is the obstacle, obstructions, which is mentioned for the path, and no one can say this is not such a thing. That is his knowledge, true knowledge. And fourth one is yassa kopanate atthaya dhammo devsito so na niyati takkarasa samma dukkha khayayate. What the Supreme Buddha is teaching the Dhamma, what the practice So the Buddha is explaining this thing doesn't leads to end of suffering. He's teaching it doesn't lead to the end of suffering. No one can say this thing. Whoever follow his path never going to say these things. But today, if we see, because of our selfishness or because of our means we are not ready to practice, we make excuses. Oh, this doesn't give me the answer of what I'm looking at, something like this. But if you see the Dhamma, you will always find the answer. What the Buddha's is Dhamma's teaching, it is for and only for enlightenment. That entire path leads to, and several things are there in different ways. It is you can find. Supreme Buddha says these are the four knowledges that Buddha possesses, and because of this, Tathagata do the lion's roar in this word. So up to this, remember in this sutta. Next week we're going to learn in the sutta. Buddha explained beautifully there are different assemblies, and what the assemblies Buddha is talking about. So we're going to learn the different assemblies, and then in after the assemblies also the Buddha explain about furthermore there are the different worlds to be born into. Then there are different practices to be. So uh, all the practices what the Buddha has tried and declined, those are all is it is here. It is very well explained in this sutta. There are five destinations where the person born. It is also mentioned in this sutta. There are four kind of birth is explained in this sutta. So these are all we're going to learn the next week. And when you finish this entire sutta, the one thing will definitely you will understand that this Tathagata is enlightened one, and no one can deny that. We also can develop the confidence on Buddha because of these things up there. And this is the beautiful sutta. Majority of Tathagata's knowledge is explained in this sutta. So I will ask everyone to, so read couple of times before also teaching. And after this finishing also, every 6 months, repeat it. Read, repeat, and try to understand the whom I went refuge to, whom I make my teacher. He possesses these qualities. And as I follow the path, slowly, your confidence will increase, your virtue will increase together, your immersion, the meditation will be also developing, and you will see where you started this journey from. Now you are in the better place. So entire path of Dhamma is based on Tathagata. How we place our confidence on him depends on that. This sutta will help us to get rid of a lot of doubts what we possess. Okay, so this sutta what up to now we learn that someone was saying that Buddha is not has a divinity in him, does not have the true knowledge, and it doesn't have that means not realized one. But what he teaches, that thing ends the suffering. And Buddha gave what he's saying. It is true that what I am teaching, it is leads to end of suffering. But what he's saying that Buddha has not realized one, it is not true. Buddha gave the answer about different ways. Buddha tell that these 10 powers the Buddha possesses. If someone understands these 10 powers, then they will understand that Tathagata is the marvelous one. He has self-realized, attained to that state. Buddha has the four self assurance, Visharada, that no one can accuse Buddha for this certain things. People can accuse about small things. Oh, Buddha made these precepts for that time, and bound with the time. So that happened. But for his enlightenment, for his work, for his teaching, for his the way of explanation of obstacles, no one can accuse of that. That's the very very important thing to learn. And we can learn from this sutta. Furthermore, we will may this sutta and explanation be helpful for all of us to develop all of us to realize the Four Noble Truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. We can do the question answer today, or we can do next week also. After difficult sutta, Majjhima Nikaya has a lot of difficulties. It has a lot of deeper meaning. You know, every word has a lot of hidden meanings also, and that's why maybe a little bit difficult you will feel. But what I found, I read for myself every other year. I start to read Majjhima Nikaya. Means there is a Digha Nikaya, all of Majjhima Nikaya, Samyutta Nikaya, Anguttara Nikaya. There is a lot, but especially the Majjhima Nikaya, I always repeat again and again. If someone understands this, then that person has realized the vast majority of sutta. Okay, so this is a beautiful thing to repeating again. Let's share the merits. Today we gather all of here, and then we went to a future triple gem. We observe precepts. After that, we practice meditation. After meditation, we started to learn this sutta, the Mahāsīhanādasutta, by explaining it, by listening it, by chanting the verses in the Pali, that we have a lot of good karma. We share this all merit to the all heavenly beings. May all heavenly beings rejoice in this merit, and they may realize the Dhamma in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu. We share this merit with all of our relatives who are passed away from us in this life, a long life of samsara. We share this merit with all of them. By the power of this merit, they may have a good life in the next life, and they become fortunate to escape from this harsh journey of samsara. Sadhu. We share this merit with our teacher, Kalyanmita Lokaswami Mahansa, all the monks in the monastery, all the nuns. We share this merit with them. They may also realize this Dhamma in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhus. We share this merit with all of you, all of your family members, relatives, friends, work colleagues. We share this merit with all of you by the power of this merit, by the power of Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha. You may all have happy life, healthy life, long life. All the fortune comes your way, and you may realize the Four Noble Truths in this Gautama Buddha's dispensation. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Bless you all. Abhivadana Silisa Nichang Vaddhapachayano Chattaro Dhamma Vaddhanti Ayuvanno Sukhang Balang Ayurarogya Sampatti Sagga Sampatti Mevacha Ato Nibbana Sampatti Iminate Samicchatu.
Bante, we'd like to share merit with Bante, at the same time ask for forgiveness. Okasa Vandami Bante,
So cute.
Mayakatam Punyam Samina Anomuditabam,
Sadhu Anmodami.
Samina Kantam Punyam Mayham Databam,
Sadhu Anmodita.
Sadhu Sadhu Anamodami, Okasa Varatena, Katam Sabam Achayam, Kamatame Bante.
Kamami Kamtapam.
Okasa Kamami Bante, Dutiyampi Okasa Kamami Bante, Tatiyampi Okasa Kamami Bante. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you very much, Bante, for teaching us. Teruan Saranay.
Yes.
Teruan Saranay.
Teruan.
Namo Buddhaya. Thank you, Bante.
Namo Buddhaya, Bante. Thank you.
Namo Buddhaya.
Namo Buddhaya, everyone.